giving him a demo of the game and trying to show him why this game is unique, with weapons that can charge up and players that can dodge and alternate fires and enemy AI that can track you down no matter where you were. And he was very stoic, but I hope that I impressed him. And I was still shaking for like an hour after that.
First E3,
wow.
1995. $2.99. What a moment. You know what I mean? Killed the Saturn in its tracks. And so that's where I want to start. 1995, mid-90s. We're talking about video game consoles.
Yeah.
Golden Boy, we'll start with you. Were
Yeah.
you a Sega kid or a Nintendo kid?
Oh, yeah, I was a Sega kid.
Sega
I
kid.
was a Sega kid. Sega kid, baby. Sorry. So here's the thing. My mother bought a Super Nintendo for my brother.
Sure.
But she was like, well, I can't have them sharing it because we're just going to argue and fight the whole time.
Yeah.
So then, she ended up telling my father, hey, you got to go get him a Sega Genesis. She took the credit for it, by the way. Boss mom. Shout out to you, Ma. And then, I had the Sega Genesis. But the only game I had for like the longest time was Sonic Pinball or Spinball.
Spinball.
So and that was like one of my favorite Sonic games.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. I was a Sega Master System kid. Ooh. I was walking through the store, saw the Ghostbusters game, said I want that, and my mom did no research, and she got me what I wanted.
Yeah.
But then I was a Sega kid, ride or die the rest of the way through the Saturn. I bought a Saturn.
I had a Saturn too. Clockwork Knight, by the way, one of the most underrated platformer games ever. Clockwork Knight, so good.
Jackie, I feel like I don't need to ask.
You want to know what's funny? So actually, the first console we ever got was a Super Nintendo, and it is one of the most vivid memories of my life, actually. I remember my dad came in with the box and my brother and I were chasing after him. We're like, what is this? What is this? And it was this little TV like this big, and he was trying to get it all plugged in. My brother and I were sitting in front of this like gray screen, you know?
Yeah.
And then Super Mario World popped up and my brother and I looked at each other and we just screamed, you know?
Wow.
And little did they know that they were gonna start a full-blown video game obsession after that. But I messed with Sega, okay? I would go to my neighbors and we would play NBA Jam. We'd be like, he's on fire! Oh my gosh, I loved it. And actually, my brother and I got a Dreamcast as well, but we were mainly a Nintendo family.
Well, yeah, the only reason I said I think I know is because you have an SNES game in front of you.
Actually, I did bring Chrono Trigger. I thought we were gonna be talking about our favorite games from the 90s, and obviously, like, this one, it's near and dear to my heart. My brother and I played it repeatedly.
Sure.
And Robo's theme was my ringtone for probably 10 years. And then I got an iPhone and I was like, wait, you can't make a ringtone for these? Or can you? And I just haven't figured that out. But anyway, yeah, this story just always resonated with me so much. I was a weirdo. I played like Secret of Mana and Terranigma and Illusion of Gaia.
Normal.
But those were like heavy, dark stories for 7- and 8-year-olds to be taken in. So my brother and I are like, we went into the Incan ruins and we found this corpse and it was like, please tell my family that I shouldn't have gone out searching for treasure and I abandoned them. And my brother and I are like crying, but I do think that these games made me the person that I am today and made my brother the person that he was. I'm sorry, I don't mean to get emotional, but I think we can all say that games have had a profound effect on our life. And
100%.
these games from the 90s, don't sleep on them, people. Don't sleep on them. They got really, really amazing content. So
can I see the box?
Of course. I know. I'm like,
I don't think I've ever.
Yeah, do you want to put on white gloves before you handle it?
I feel like I should. I mean, like, I've never actually held a Chrono Trigger box.
I know.
I saw one in Tokyo in Akihabara. I walked around for a little bit and I saw one there and I asked the guy if I could grab it. He looked at me, said I was crazy, and then I left being, in tears. But this is like a piece of history. Yeah. This is super cool.
Greg, you can hold it too. I mean, I know this.
I know this is. You're setting me up for like when that guy shows the Woodstock ticket and tears it in half. I'm not touching that. I'm not ending up in live stream fails.
Oh my god, I love it. But I feel like you can just feel the energy like coming off of the game. You know,
and it was one.
my buddy.
Oh, okay. Well, he's actually my friend, but
But he's like
This is what happens when I can't sit between them.
darn it, Sancho, I believed in you.
I won. It's all me. I won. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, what are your favorite 90s games? Let us know with the hashtag E3 2021 so we can get you up on screen. But still to come here on the E3 stage, we've got our indie showcase, Capcom, and so much more. The party's just getting started, so don't go anywhere.
Ahora me escucho, ahora me escucho. ¿Me escuchan ahora? Uno, dos. ¿Me escuchan ahora? Bello, discúlpenme. Nada, como les estaba diciendo, vamos a estar cubriendo el E3 ahora con ustedes. Vamos a estar trabajando con lo que es el E3. De verdad, estamos súper orgullosos de ser parte del media del E3. Y obviamente, pues vamos a estar cubriendo todo lo que es el E3. Estamos bien contentos y lo vamos a estar. Hoy va Capcom, la conferencia de Capcom, va también la conferencia de Take-Two, Razer, la conferencia de Razer va hoy. Así que vamos a estar cubriendo todo lo que va a estar llegando. Ya estamos esperando, ya estamos a ley de nada de que empiece Take-Two, así que estamos ahí trabajándolo para poder transmitir con ustedes el E3. Voy a poner por ahí para que puedan ver un ratito. Están tirando anuncios, pero lo voy a poner por ahí.
I snuck in the room, I climbed on the wall, then I jumped down, I took the knife and I stabbed the person in the back. I looked over to my left and I saw these people talk, they were talking, then they stopped listening like, oh my God, what is he talking about? He's just talking about killing somebody? I said, it's a video game. They're like, oh, okay. I'm like, man, these people thought I killed somebody. They thought I was a hitman. I was like, oh, this is too funny.
Thanks to our sponsors at DoorDash. Get more from your neighborhood, from restaurants and convenience to grocery and corner stores. All right, folks. Well, we are back here at E3 2021. And, here's the truth, guys. Sometimes the most difficult discussions, are the ones that you need to have the most. And with the gaming community already being such a diverse place, it's time for the creative space to reflect that. So here's Take-Two with an important discussion on the necessity of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the corporate responsibility to honor those things.
Bueno, vamos a comenzar con Take-Two. Aparentemente y alegadamente ellos van a empezar a discutir sobre la diversidad, la importancia de la inclusión de la diversidad. Obviamente también estamos en el área en todo este mes que trata sobre el Pride y demás.
Vice President of Corporate Communications and Public Affairs for Take-Two Interactive. Thank you for joining us today and welcome to Virtual E3 2021. Take-Two, like many organizations, is deeply committed to and actively involved in numerous initiatives to enhance diversity, equity, and inclusion within our society
Diversidad
and industry.
e inclusión.
Affecting meaningful, sustainable change is a continuous process, and there is no one solution that can achieve that goal. We believe that to enact change, especially for those in underserved and underrepresented communities, there needs to be a continuum of activism and engagement with educational programs serving as its core foundation. Beginning with children in elementary school, we have the ability to light a spark of creativity, intellectual curiosity, and wonder that can last a lifetime. Continuing through middle and high school, we can support and nurture students during their formative years and increase the depth of their skills that can provide a pathway to attending one of the 400 plus colleges and universities within the United States that offer degrees in game design. Providing opportunities to attend these academic institutions, including need-based financial support, is also a critical component to helping end generational cycles of inequality. And while pursuing their creative and technical degrees, students can learn firsthand from industry leaders that share their experience, acumen, and
Por
passion
favor, digo,
through
hasta el
one-on-one
momento,
mentoring and
aparente y
internships at our
alegadamente es
organization.
una explicación sobre la
Together,
importancia de la
if our
inclusión.
industry can execute
Pasa que
this
a mí me
continuum,
impresiona porque estas
we will have
compañías
invested
crean
meaningfully
videojuegos y
in
no
the
tienen
lives of youth
creatividad
in
para
these
crear esto.
communities for more than a decade
Este,
before they begin their professional
de
journey.
repente lo que ponen es una persona a
Diversity and
hablar
inclusion
pudiendo
make
haber
us a better
hecho tantas
industry
cosas,
for
pero sí.
today and most importantly for tomorrow. It allows us to make better entertainment experiences,
Dímelo,
that are
boy.
authentic,
¿Qué hay?
culturally relevant,
Aquí
and
escuchando la
reflective
importancia
of
de
the
la
audiences
inclusión
that
en el
enjoy
mundo de los
them.
videojuegos.
Today, we have brought together a few of our important partners who will share their organization's mission and role in this endeavor, as well as their insights on how we as an industry
Loco, y ellos no le podían preparar un buen set.
together for the future.
Papi,
We hope that you
lo
find
mismo digo
their
yo,
work
es lo que yo digo, ellos
inspiring
crean
as we do.
videojuegos.
It is now my pleasure to turn things over to my
Igual que
colleague,
esta
Tony
explicación, yo hubiera
Ladons,
puesto que
Director
sea un
of
muñequito
Diversity and
animado,
Inclusion for
explicarlo, que
who will be the moderator
poner
for
como
today's
banderas, poner
Yeah.
cosas.
Literal,
Pero-
esto representa de que los juegos de ellos se han pegado por
I'd like
suerte,
to introduce my esteemed panelists today.
porque ellos no invierten en nada más.
Jim Huntley is currently the professor and head of marketing at USC. Jim is a faculty advisor and he's an
Y
executive
Marco, ya llegó.
Anda
USC
acá,
Games Expo
loco,
and a co-founding partner
¿Qué?
of Track Youth
esto
Gaming.
es un panel.
Next, we have Susanna Pollock. Susanna
Como si
is
fuera
the
un
president
foro.
of Games for Change, which is a nonprofit that empowers game creators and social innovators to drive real-world
Yo
impact
debería de estar en
games
ese de
and
tú, que
immersive
yo.
media. Next to Susanna, we have Gordon Bellamy. Gordon is a professor of practice of cinematographic arts at USC. He is also the head of USC Bridge.
Mira, es lo que dice Ocadi, que hay que tener inclusión con la gente de Xbox que está en depresión porque le fallaron con Halo. Mano, todo lo contrario, tú no has escuchado nuestro podcast, Ocadi.
Exacto. A mí no me han fallado para nada.
A mí tampoco.
Which offers a series of summer camps, workshops, and game jams designed to inspire the next generation of designers, creators, and engineers. Welcome to all of you, great panelists, and thank you so much for joining our important discussion
Ellos están
today.
leyendo, Pixel.
Now, I'd like to dive
Papi,
right in here, and Jim, I'm
lo
going to start
peor.
with you. In Alan's opening, he mentioned something that was so important.
Y
and
esto
it
al
was really
parecer
just
es un
talking about
panel
the
sobre la
increasing role
inclusión
that diversity, equity, and
y la
inclusion
diversidad. O sea,
is
olvídate de
playing
los
in the
juegos,
video game
cabrón.
industry today. So before we get into the big concepts that we're talking about here,
Espero
let's
que no.
put some things down for our viewers. Jim, can you help us
Y el
understand
que está arriba a la derecha no tiene compañía.
diversity
Es
and why it's
freelance.
El que
important
está
in the
arriba y
conversation
abajo
about the
son
video game
profesores
industry today?
Ah,
de dos universidades.
Equity and diversity has been a challenge for the
Este
gaming
es
industry
del Sagrado
since its
Corazón, era
inception.
Universidad
It
Sagrado
hasn't really
Corazón.
changed very, very much over time. But I think the
Loco, el
biggest
mismo
changes
logo de
we've seen in the last
Sagrado.
2 to 3 years are the lack
Y el de
of
arriba es
it
de
in the
Atlantic
modern
College.
era, and the now that there's no excuse behind not having better equity and diversity in the industry from here on out. So what I like about working with companies like Take-Two and some other companies that have reached out to me about an initiative we started called the Gerald A. Lawson Endowment
puede ser que ellos no vayan a hablar de videojuegos.
in getting more diversity in their ranks and getting more stories told from different points of view.
Papi, ¿no? Yo digo, esperemos que en algún momento pase. Dios mío, pero ¿qué problema tiene Twitch? Twitch tiene un problema. Yo voy a quitar esto de aquí. Porque se supone que estamos transmitiendo desde donde oficialmente es la transmisión. Y yo no sé qué le pasa a Twitch. Así que denme un segundito. Porque Twitch a cada rato tira ese... Y me tiene bien molesto. Bueno, pues realmente es eso, papito.
Yo no puedo creer que ellos les robaron el espacio a otra compañía que quizás podía presentar videojuegos para... No, mano. Y después ellos tienen el descaro de decir que de aquí al 2024 quieren sacar 63 juegos.
Mano.
Literalmente, ellos están viviendo de las ganancias que le está dejando Grand Theft Auto y NBA 2K y
sí,
creando a ver qué más se pega, porque no invierten en nada más.
Mano, y tú sabes que es lo más gracioso, mira, si es un foro, definitivamente esto es un foro. Esto es un foro. Y tú sabes que es lo más brutal, que como dice Ocadi, tienen tanta creatividad que lo que pusieron fue un fondo blanco loco que se ve asqueroso.
Ellos no se prepararon, literalmente.
Loco, no. Yo pienso que es que ellos no, como que no tenían nada que hacer. Y ayer el presidente dijo, mira, ¿qué es lo que vamos a hacer para Litri? Mira, llámate par de gente y vamos a hacer un foro de qué. Pues estamos en el mes del Pride, de la comunidad LGBT, inclusión. Bello. No tiene nada que ver con su juego, nada que ver. Mira, papi, el de al lado está echándose este spray en las manos, mira eso, loco. El profesor de arriba, está con la cara como, Dios mío, yo no sé ni qué yo hago aquí.
Sure. So, our mission for game designers.
Ay, Dios mío.
De verdad me duele hasta el pecho, gente. Me duele hasta el pecho.
We see our work with younger people is really inspiring the next generation. Right? And
tú sabes que es lo peor, que ellos tienen como 8 personas ahí y todos tienen que hablar. Carlos Brieta, mano, esto es lo que trajo Take-Two. Esta es la conferencia. Mira, a lo que sale la conferencia, recuerden entrar a nuestro podcast que ya está arriba. El podcast está bien cabrón. Estamos en YouTube y en Spotify, Anchor y iTunes y también en Amazon. Así que nos pueden buscar en Amazon. Si usted no lo sabía, puede buscar en Amazon el Gamer Cave y aparece nuestro podcast completo y se puede suscribir desde Amazon. Puede escuchar todo el podcast, está muy, muy bueno. Es todo el resumen de los primeros 2 días del retreat y el... Mira, en el fondo de la playa pueden poner... No, papi.
Literal, loco. El morro tan siquiera, aunque ellos no sepan en qué parte queda el morro.
Loco, es que pudieron haber puesto, qué sé yo, algo de la universidad, si era, o de algo de los juegos.
Loco, es más, ni tan siquiera. Que por lo menos tuviera el nombre atrás, Take-Two Interactive o algo así. No, es blanco completo. Eso debe ser una cartulina de esas de 50 chavos.
Y nosotros pasando trabajo decorando la parte de atrás para que la gente lo vea.
No lo dudo.
Mira, dice que no pueden porque el fondo de Minecraft los demanda, dime.
Y que tienen chavo, pero mira.
Es la compañía, yo creo que están podridos en chavo esa compañía. Esto lo hizo un practicante.
Pues fíjate, sí. Pero yo creo que ni un practicante, él es mal practicante, sabe que eso se ve horrible. Que eso no puede ser.
Loco, pero mira el logo en la parte de atrás, se ve pixelado.
we can get to them at a young age. They can spend their summers with Layla at Girls Make Games.
Cabrón, es más, para hablar tema, tú sabes que cuando uno va subiendo tus etapas de streamer, que uno quiere borrar el fondo, hasta de un streamer que por primera vez haga eso se ve mejor que esa gente. Y mira que la primera vez que un streamer hace eso, ese stream sale fatal. Porque está experimentando algo nuevo. Eso se ve mejor que esto.
Just, you know, having good gamers out there. So there's so many things that you talked about that I want to hit on. Let's just pull Layla into this conversation and just talk about the idea of mentorship and representation. Layla, talk about the workshops and the summer programs that you offer to girls. How does that help to increase the representation and the mentorship aspects that we talked about?
Mano,
Thanks
esto
so much for
está...
having me. I was on mute. This was 2020. I was still going on mute. But like Susanna said, I think it's really important to kind of pass that.
Gracias, Caldo, gracias. Yo se lo alquilo. Yo se lo alquilo rápido. Para que hagan los foros aquí en el cuartito mío.
Mira que yo estaba en el mismo cuarto compartiendo el green screen.
Ay, loco, yo no puedo creer algo así, en verdad. De verdad.
Mano, hay que ser sincero. La charla es muy buena. Es necesaria. Pero yo creo que este no era el foro.
Ellos podían grabar un video de la charla, loco, y subirlo, y esto lo cogían para los juegos. Porque para eso es el E3, no es para nada más que sea presentar el juego.
Digo, el E3 es una conferencia y esto es importante dentro del E3. Pero como estamos a modo virtual, o sea, no es lo mismo tú decir, mira, ¿qué voy a hacer? Oh, pues mira, hoy es la charla de la equidad en el E3, vamos a cogerla. Y a la misma vez, cuando pasa eso en el E3, normalmente eso pasa. Hay un pabellón que está la charla del E3 y en el otro pabellón está Capcom haciendo otra cosa. Y de repente tenemos firma de autógrafos y están los buses. Y tú decides dónde ir. Pero el problema es que estamos en modo virtual. Y esto es literalmente el stage central. Y ellos están utilizando el stage central para hacer un foro de equidad. Que está bien, es necesario. Pero no es el lugar. Ellos debieron haber cogido el área de booth, abrir un booth y que esto esté el loop dentro del booth de la página. Y ya, si tú quieres escuchar, pues tú entras. Las personas que tienen la aplicación, ustedes pueden bajar la aplicación o entrar al E3 Expo y crear una cuenta como fan y van a entrar a los diferentes booths que hay. Yo no sé si ustedes lo sabían, pero eso lo pueden hacer. Maro,
Thank you for hitting on that pipeline challenge and actually solution. You really clearly laid it out there for us. I really, really enjoy that.
Vamos, ya faltan tres, ya faltan tres.
This world of gaming to new, diverse,
esperemos que después de esto pase algo. ¿A qué hora es la próxima? ¿A qué hora es Capcom? Yo no saqué la hora.
Te digo ahora. Según mi fuente de IGN.
¿Y para qué tú entras a IGN si nosotros tenemos acceso directo al E3?
A las 5:30, creo. 5:30.
Education, employment, expertise, and entrepreneurship. And
a las 5:30.
Alongside diversity, equity, inclusion, there's a new word that's come up a lot, which is belonging. Right? A feeling of
ahora mismo IGN está cubriendo lo que
sí, papi. Un panel de discusión de Take-Two.
People in their uniqueness do a lot of mental, socioeconomic, and sometimes social gymnastics before they get to be as good as they are, before they get a chance to participate in this panel or participate in our industry by and large. And I think the work that we all
mira cómo el fondo le traga la mitad de la cabeza. Mira.
Socioeconomic gymnastics, social gymnastics that young women, people of color, indigenous people, need to do in order to be as great as they are, to belong.
Ay, bendito.
Layla speaking to of a cohort.
Esto es lo que hay, papito. Esto es lo que hay.
Déjame darme refresh que estoy lagging.
Dale, papi.
Right, with the endowment honoring Lawson, where there's going to be cohorts of Black and Indigenous people, right, growing together, and the work that Susanna you've been doing since before it was cool.
Ya regresé, ya estoy.
Están diciendo aquí, vamos a omitir esto y hagan un video de media hora, dale al botón de skip, bendito, pero no nos traten mal. Vuelvo y digo, oye, esto es necesario. Pero anuncien juegos, please. Vamos a ver si empiezan, Edgardo. Vamos a ver si empiezan.
Bueno, yo espero después de haber hecho esto que por lo menos enseñen el nombre de la portada de GTA 6 mínimo como recompensa.
Papi, con esto te están diciendo que no va a haber ni GTA 6 ni el 5 ni... Estoy loco, voy a entrar a ver los comentarios nada más de la gente que está viéndolo.
Dale, y me dice. O mejor aún, compártelo. Vamos a ver mejor el chat.
Están diciendo aquí dónde están los anuncios. Me duermo. Me siento raro porque esto no me hace sentir incluido. Oh crap, ¿dónde rayos están los nuevos juegos? ¿Qué es lo que vamos a hacer? Take Two, gracias. What the fuck? GTA 5-2, let's go. Están diciendo aquí. Mira, no sabía que Take Two contrató actores del departamento de drama. Wow, me encanta cómo se ve GTA 6, se ve bien real. Qué cabrón. Qué cabrón. Que Franklin está con...
Sí, Edgardo, esto es una clase virtual de Take Two.
Estoy de la gran puta. Xbox ganó. Esto es absolutamente terrible. Ay, Dios, este chat está bien interesante. ¿Dónde está el GTA 6 Take Two, por favor?
No, pero no repitan, terminen. Loco, para mí
por
que
favor,
IGN,
solo enseñen juegos.
IGN descubrió que Take Two lo que tenía era esto y por eso ellos no la están cubriendo literal.
No, pero esto nosotros estamos transmitiendo de IGN porque la página de E3 me está tirando un problema.
Pero ¿en qué página de IGN tú estás? Porque en la que yo estoy acá ellos están con Forza.
Pues está en la que no es.
No, loco, mira. Forza hasta ahora mismo. Ahora. Sí,
Ve. Mira, saludo a la profesora, dice Edgardo. Ellos si quieren seguir estirando mientras les siga generando dinero. Sí, eso es lo que va a pasar.
Sí,
pero, mano, ni siquiera, vamos. Take Two tienes tanto IP que, mano, debieron de haber hecho algo.
Claro.
Take Two, pero Forza está transmitiendo ahora en vivo.
Sí.
El gameplay.
Más o menos lo que presentaron ayer.
pues sí, un resumen no brinco.
Más nuevos detalles.
Black
Y
people,
esas
of
cositas.
women, of queer people, of indigenous people, neurodiverse people, a business
Wow.
goal. Plain and simple. The same way that the consumption, right, of content, right, get some downloadable skins, buy some NBA 2K, right, that's a business goal around which the business is aligned. And I feel as though if the expertise of women, Black people, neurodiverse, other populations was a business goal, then that would be the change. It'd be that simple. Like, oh, our business is more successful if there is more of this, right? And that's about people being of value versus just being valuable, which are two different things. There's lots of exceptional people, right, who are of value in spite of their circumstances. They're valuable.
Papi, esto es lo que hay.
Yo iba a comer y yo esquipié comer por estar aquí.
That's a business goal.
Pues vete a comer, yo te espero.
And I think that's the
No, es que si me voy no vuelvo.
A real change, because it used to be, I mean, just real talk, exceptionalism, right? And be like, oh, we're able to thrive under this duress, right? Isn't that cool? Versus, right, you are actually who we are, so we are going to cultivate.
Gente, cuando se termine la clase virtual, hoy hemos puesto varias noticias y videos en la página sobre cosas que han anunciado hoy o que anunciaron ayer bien tarde, pues ya están hoy en la página, que cuando se acabe esto pueden pasar y ver todo.
No, y aparte de eso, ya salió el podcast, así que vayan al podcast, escúchenlo. Sí, mira, les damos la oportunidad de que se salgan aquí un ratito, vayan al podcast y vuelvan. Yo voy a tratar de transmitir todo el E3 en la tarde de hoy, pero les voy a dar esa oportunidad. Si ustedes vayan, escuchen el podcast o veanlo, que está muy bueno. Básicamente hacemos el resumen de los 2 días y tiramos nuestra... Pues lo que nos gustó, lo que no nos gustó, así que vayan allá, denle like y bien importante, mis amores, compartan este video porque aunque tenemos esta clase virtual sobre la diversidad, gracias a Take Two, igual pues obviamente la mejor forma de ayudarnos es compartir, así que comparta. Ay, santo Cristo, ay, Take Two.
What would you recommend?
Estoy sin palabras.
Just said, the looking at this challenge as a business challenge is key. That's what between the inspiration.
Pero ¿y por qué siempre hablan los mismos? Hay 3 que no han hablado todavía.
Talking to our chair, Danny Bilson, who said that, hey, we're going to tackle this issue, this giant generational issue, as a business problem. What you do, and that flipped the light switch on for me. Well, of course, like any business problem, what are my challenges? I've got gaps in my supply chain, if you will. So how do I fill those gaps in my supply chain? And really working your way backwards in a way where you're putting objectives, strategies, and tactics.
Hoy a las 22 horas o en una hora va a estar Limited Run Games y a las 23 horas va a estar Capcom. Y ya mañana sería el E3 Award Show y el Nintendo Direct y Bandai Namco, que está mañana también.
El de Nintendo, para que sepan, dura 4 horas.
El de Nintendo.
Sí, es 40 minutos de conferencia y las otras 3 y pico son de gameplay de lo que ellos van a enseñar en la conferencia.
So I like to think about it as like a pie. You know, when we think about from like a corporate strategy, we always think about there's a piece of the pie and everyone gets a little piece of the pie. But I think the way we have to approach this is really, the pie is not a fixed size. I think by including more people, the pie gets bigger. So it's not a fixed size that we're trying to all get a piece of, but by including more people, you know, in the industry, by becoming creators of this medium.
Mami, ¿cuánto dura esto?
Expanded beyond just entertainment. And I think that's really heavily for me as a problem solver, is like when I look at video games, it's such an underutilized.
Pero se supone que no dure mucho, porque te voy a decir.
Susanna kind of has been on the forefront of that. And coming in as an outsider to the games industry, I was just kind of blown away that, oh my God, you can do so much. Like 9 out of 10 kids play video games. not 9 out of 10 boys, 9 out of 10 kids. We're talking about literally changing perceptions and inspiring and educating generation after generation. And yet that power rests in the hand of like a select few. And I think when you think about it, not just from a corporate responsibility, but as a social responsibility, like what are we putting out there for our kids to consume? I think we need to bring in pretty much everyone.
Mano, esto está bien bueno.
Who's interested in building
Pues aparentemente.
So between the pie and the
40 y pico minutos, 50 y pico minutos.
50 y pico minutos, loco.
Sí, porque lo próximo que le sigue es lo de Mythical Games.
We have to work together, and everyone does kind of go between what's good for me and what's good for everyone, So.
Thank you for bringing that concept up, Layla.
Pero mira, es culpa de nosotros, mano.
All community members in this
porque ellos avisaron que esto era un panel y están en el booth de ellos.
Before we end this conversation, there's tons of questions that we have that we want to ask you. So I'm going to.
Pero no van a anunciar nada de verdad, nada, ni un trailer, nada.
Nada, es un panel completo todo el tiempo. Sobre las mujeres y el gay gaming presentials. Como que la comunidad LGBT dentro del gaming y las mujeres.
And Mir, he's the head of mobile for Take-Two. So go ahead and fire it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Tony. The first question is for Layla, but certainly open to having the rest of our panelists answer the question. But at the beginning of your career, did you ever imagine being a leader within an industry that is predominantly male-dominated? And what is your advice for other young women that are interested in taking a similar path to where you are today?
Thank you, Juanita. I don't think I really envisioned being.
Mira, estás diciendo, Adrián está diciendo, pensé que era una conferencia de profesores y no una E3. Adrián, pues no sabemos exactamente qué es esto. Bueno, realmente un panel, es una conferencia. Esa chamaca parece una muchacha que estudió conmigo en la universidad.
Yo voy a dormir un jato.
Pero mientras, pueden entrar y escuchar nuestro podcast, el gamercave.com, pueden entrar ahí, también adquirir nuestras camisas, tenemos gorras, vasos, tenemos un montón de cosas que pueden entrar ahí, adquirir tazas.
It's all about you specifically. You might end up liking things that people, even your age, your geographic location, your educational background, or
mano, hasta el fondo está pésimo, mano. Hasta el fondo.
No tiene nada bueno más que el contenido que están trayendo. Pero lo trajeron de una forma no correcta.
Lo trajeron mal, de verdad, lo trajeron mal.
Use a very selective hearing. I think you have to kind of develop selective hearing. Listen to the people that care about you, that love you, and encourage you in being more.
Loco, checate a ver si todavía están dando de Forza, en verdad.
No, Forza se acabó.
Ay, Dios mío, ¿por qué nos castigas de esta manera? ¿Qué te hemos
Forza se acabó. ¿Qué hemos hecho, Dios? ¿Qué hemos hecho?
Diablo, loco. No.
Mira, eso sí, ayer, yo no sé si tú lo viste, Xbox tiró el World Premiere de la nevera de Xbox.
Hacho, yo la quiero.
Yo también.
Loco, vamos a hacer algo, búscate el video de Halo que salió ahorita, que no lo cubrimos, para que lo veas, que tú no lo has visto.
El Halo.
El overview.
¿Es lo nuevo? ¿Cómo es que se llamaba?
Halo Infinite Multiplayer Overview.
Could you share an example of how your program has impacted someone that has participated or, a few people?
Lo tengo aquí. Ok, a la gente que nos está viendo, ¿quieren que cambiemos un momento a Halo y después seguimos viendo esto.
Contesten.
Quiero preguntarle a ustedes.
Comenten en el chat GG. A ver.
Podemos poner el gameplay review de Halo. Dura 12 minutos, así que esos 12 minutos podemos switch.
Escriban GG.
Ok, deme un segundito. Obviamente esto es Elite 3, es lo que está corriendo, pero vamos a tirar para que vean los que no lo pudieron ver. Pongan un mapache comiendo uvaca. Adrián,
ustedes están demente.
De verdad, ustedes son otra cosa, de verdad. Pues mira, vamos a ver el review del multiplayer.
Just the feeling of like being in a firefight and hearing the click of the gun, throwing it down, grabbing one off the wall.
My gunner's upside down and he's like laying in. I see kill assist, kill assist, kill assist.
Any pistol across any of the games. Whatever gun allows me to feel the most like John Wick.
Se ve bien cansado.
Remember how excited I was?
Para mí que ya debe ser una tester, papi, que están dando
Halo means something new for everyone.
todas las horas posibles para correr.
Bien brutal.
El customization.
Papi,
eso me gusta porque al parecer tú vas a poder
what is
cambiar
Halo multiplayer? And for me, it boils down to
la
this
ropa.
tight arena style.
No te voy a decir nada, velo.
And big team battle, this wide open, vehicle infused kind of combat. We're taking that awesome legacy or classic Halo combat experience and modernizing it in ways that'll feel fresh to old players and really exciting to new players. We're going to give you great ways to customize your Spartan, really make your super soldier your own, and we're kicking off a journey, an experience that's going to evolve month to month, season to season, year after year.
For me, working through this multiplayer of this game, and the toughest challenge I think was really about how do we respect the legacy of what came before us, but still build something.
¿Viste el controlcito que tiene en la parte de atrás?
Tried to bring all these elements of legacy and really inject them into Halo Infinite. Not just like in a way where you kind of won't notice it, where you feel like, oh, they really designed this to be a celebration of previous Halo, as well as an iteration of where Halo can go next. The vision of Arena was all about a tight experience. It was all about being fair. It was all about earning everything on the map, earning everything, every kill you get.
Going back to like what is the core foundation of what made the great Halo multiplayer arena matches great. Halo, it's really about fair and balanced starts. So everybody's on equal footing when they come off the rip. And then once they start running around, it's about scavenging. It's about finding new toys and kind of developing your play style as you run through the match.
What makes Halo feel like Halo? I feel like the answer to that question is the sandbox. Like the sandbox is Halo.
When we set out to look at Halo Infinite from a high level and the direction of what it is, there's lots of exciting things there because we really wanted to push what are the things that are true to Halo, but what are the things that fans haven't seen yet?
Equipment is back, but equipment is kind of has a bigger voice than ever before. We asked questions to ourselves of if you could go after a power weapon to get a bunch of kills, would you do that, or could you go and get grapple to make sure that you swing yourself to the other side of the map to backcap the stronghold? We saw it as like another avenue of not just skill expression, but tactics for teams to coordinate around.
The exciting combinatory nature of this toy plus this toy and how those interact with objectives is super amazing.
Looking at how the power-ups play, like your classic power-ups like the overshield and the active camouflage. For this title, what we're looking at, what we're excited for, is you pick that up and you choose when you activate it. It goes into your inventory. If you haven't used it and someone kills you in multiplayer, you drop that overshield and then they can take it, use it for themselves. That to me is very legacy, but we took the equipment side of it and modernized it. When it comes to the vehicles, we went in and decided to invest a lot in the systems when I take damage in my Warthog, my wheels can get blown off, my hood can get blown off. There's different aspects
te matan, la
of the
persona
vehicle
puede
that
cogerlo y
change
ponérselo.
how my vehicle handles now. And that's something that's brand new.
The other thing we added to that
Que
is
si conocemos
doomsday
ayuda
mechanic.
mundial de
So when you
Adrián,
hit
no.
this threshold, the vehicle catches fire, and it's very much you've got a certain amount of health or a certain amount of time, and you got to choose what you want to do with the last minutes of this vehicle.
We've got a cousin to the Warthog, which is the Razorback.
The back has this like multi-storage compartment that you can put a lot of stuff into. So if you want to put like attached turrets, power weapons, fusion coils, objectives, and that is what
también los vehículos se van a poder personalizar
in campaign.
The levels define pace for the game, how frantic it is, and they define that iconic fantasy for players as they're entering that match. What do they want to do? What type of experience they're hoping to have? What kind of combat? What kind of dance floor is there available to have that combat in?
For me, BTV is all about experiencing the full extent
Fernando
of the
Reyes
of
Medina.
Halo in just one match, right? Like you see the vehicles, the weapons, the equipment.
Ese no tiene acento
really wanted
latino
to take
para
that
nada.
kind of concept, those feels you had,
Irlandés.
playing the previous games, and just turn the volume up. Vehicles are no longer just spawning at bases anymore. We have Pelicans delivering them, and we have a commander in your ear telling you that Pelicans are going to be dropping off these vehicles.
European tank is inbound.
We have Halo 2 style Delta Halo mission weapon pods that fall from the sky to resupply the field.
That's where it makes it feel like a real battlefield, and it's very exciting.
This is not just more players. This is just this certain beautiful slice of sci-fi chaos.
The announcer is your big gameplay moments, your
Ay, pero
game
tú sabes
modes,
que
just like
esto es para que le
the way
metemos
it was
chavo,
before.
¿verdad? Estás consciente de eso,
Personal
¿verdad?
AI is really a reflection and information for the
Que nos
players.
van a obligar a pagar Season Pass por un tubo
So if a
de
player
llave.
grabs a flag,
Sí, pero por lo menos lo nuevo que ellos tienen del Season Pass es que aunque salga uno nuevo, el anterior tú puedes completarlo, no se va a
What if
eliminar.
we can let players choose their own AI, and each one of those are different voices, so that players can find the one that fits their personality and their mood the best?
They add to the sense of like me.
Cada
as a
jugador puede
Spartan
crear su
means more important, and for us and in multiplayer, it's really about becoming a Spartan. You're Spartan. You are you inside of the Halo universe.
The body of customization content that we have on day one ensures that there will be millions of customization combinations for Spartans on the battlefield. That includes things like armor coatings, armor emblems, various armor effects, down to the individual armor pieces.
Todo
So your
eso te va a
shoulders,
costar
your
aparte,
gloves,
quiero que
your
lo
knee
sepas.
pads, your helmet, your visor, your helmet attachments. Then you look at weapons, and we've got a whole slew of customization offerings there.
Dímelo,
Vehicles
Abimael.
have a huge pool of customizations too.
Sí, de
We
hecho,
support
Adrián,
customization
la
in the
idea de
game.
este juego
Players
es que
can do the
Cortana
same
no
thing
está.
on HaloWaypoint.com as well as the Halo Waypoint app.
The player also customizes the Spartan, the soldier inside the
Ay,
suit.
qué
You want the Spartan
bello.
to represent the player as much as possible. They can change their body type and their voice, as well as choose prosthetics for the first time.
Coatings offer us a unique opportunity to craft some hyper-polished looks and let you express yourselves in ways you've never been able to before. We're coming at this from a player-first mentality. So what that means is that there's no random loot in this. There's no loot boxes. It's very important to us that everyone understands exactly how they unlock customization content. And we have a variety of places where they can do that. First off is the Battle Pass.
The Halo Battle Pass will never be taken away from you. And what I mean by that is once you buy it, it's yours and does not expire. In future seasons,
hermano.
you can purchase old Battle Passes as well as the current Battle Pass and choose which Battle Pass to put your progression towards.
All of these rewards are
Está
single
súper.
source.
O sea, que tú
so you're never
escoges.
gonna be
No es que los
confused
vas a
about where
pasar a
things
la
come
vez.
from. If you
Es que
can
si tú no
unlock something in
terminaste
the
el
Battle
primero,
Pass,
pues tú
we're
puedes
not
ir
gonna
más
let any
atrás que
other
los
player
otros, porque
circumvent that
pues
by
tú vas a ir
purchasing it
completando.
on the storefront.
A lot of our stuff is unlocked through
Sí,
playing the
se
game
ve,
and only
se ve en
through
algón,
playing.
se ve en algón, Adrián.
All customization is just cosmetic.
Every season will have its own theme and introduce
Yo lo quiero
new
así mismo, con un
components,
brazo de otro
new
color
looks, new
completo.
gameplay for players, new opportunities to earn and
supuestamente,
collect cool rewards. We've seen the Samurai.
Información, mira el Samurai
That's one of
cabrón,
our
se ve.
event armor cores. And that's going to be something that players can earn through gameplay for free.
Te lo puedes ganar.
Sí.
with us going free
también
to
lo que
play for
estaba
the
viendo
multiplayer
era
version,
que
that was a big goal because
supuestamente van a
now we
ver, tú
have a
puedes
way we can always
personalizar el
bring
muñeco
players
con
in, right?
prótesis en las
When we have a new
manos
update,
o en los
they'll just dip their
pies.
toes in if they even just want to see it.
Not only are we free to play, but we're free to play on PC as well as console. And what that means is we're able to get the biggest audience we've ever had. Everybody gets to play with no barriers. And even better, your progression carries from one platform
como
to the
Destiny.
next. Getting our game to be on PC and console at the same time
Quiero
is
decirte
an
algo,
amazing
todavía la
chance for
charla
us to
está.
really just kind of excite new players about the game. How can we do things like make cross-play interesting, and like even in just customs, being able to just play with your friends? That like some people have PCs and some people have consoles, and like let them talk to each other, let them be friends.
Va a haber crossplay.
Why are
progression.
To be a Spartan.
The Academy is a place that you can go within MP to kind of onboard into the experience. It's great for newer players who are still picking up the controls, and also people who want to warm up before they head into matchmaking. It's a series of experiences, both a tutorial to get started for the first time, weapon drills to practice with specific items, and also training mode that you can use to get warm, explore the game as you want to.
For players who are new to Halo, let's help them learn what this universe is about. Some of these characters, what are they about? And help them kind of know the vocabulary that people have been speaking for now almost 20 years, so that when they come in there, they don't feel like they're behind everyone else. They can kind of come in on an even footing.
I mean, I'm super jazzed about bots. I think they're awesome. Our goal with bots has been to have a variety of difficulties that kind of provide a good training partner for wherever you're at in the experience.
Partnering with our players on the road to launch and after launch is absolutely critical, right?
Community manager, papi. Esa es la gente que coge toda
we want to make sure we hear our
la
players, make
del
changes
público.
where we can based on that feedback, make sure the game is ready for launch, and then even beyond launch.
What I'm genuinely excited about is taking the game out of our hands and putting it into the community's hands. You know, whether it's seeing what people make in Forge or the content that they're able to create with theater, watching streamers go after the game.
To get involved, you go to haloinsider.com, put in your info with your gamer tag, and we should be able to reach out to you if we want to invite you to a Halo Infinite flight.
We feel like we've got a pretty good selection at launch and what's going to be there for our fans. And this isn't going to be something that is just a static set of items. We have some new stuff in the works already, and just can't wait to really get into that as soon as this game comes out.
New maps, new modes, new ways to customize your Spartan, launches.
Eso es algo que
just
tiene
begin.
Sea of Thieves,
Now
que
we're just going to be able to talk,
Sea
interact
of Thieves
more
Insider.
frequently.
Era
And
lo
that's
que yo
just
le
going
estaba
to
probando
be
ahorita,
great.
¿te
That is
acuerdas?
the future of Halo Infinite multiplayer.
Thank you to the community for all their feedback
O sea, que
over the
tú
years
vas a poder
so
probar
far,
el juego,
and I'm
lo que
looking
viene
forward to the
antes
road
de
to
que
launch,
salga,
launch
para
itself,
decirle a ellos si
and
corre bien o
beyond.
no.
Y viste
Papi,
que
el jueguito
Xbox
se ve...
cambió los retail box de los juegos.
Ajá.
Los cambió para la serie X y S. Las cajitas de los juegos físicos.
Voy a ver si encuentro lo de Forza para ponerlo.
Dale.
Este es el gameplay demo, ¿verdad? No.
Sí.
Forza... El Let's Go. Let's Go E3. Voy por ahí y lo pongo ahora.
Escucho el audio raro. ¿Soy yo o es el audio en total?
No sé.
Todavía la charla sigue, mi gente.
Nos vemos, Adrián. Gracias por seguirnos.
Chequeamos, Adrián.
Vamos a ver lo de Forza y después cambiamos allá.
Oh, yo creo que se acabó. Sí, yo creo que se acabó la...
Hello, Forza fans. The wait is finally over. All the speculation finally came to an end yesterday at the Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase when Playground Games announced Forza Horizon 5. That's right. The Horizon Festival is headed to beautiful, diverse Mexico for the 5th title in the series. You'll get to explore an epic, ever-evolving, vibrant open-world landscape full of cacti, volcanoes, tropical storms, dust storms, and hundreds of the world's greatest cars. Forza Horizon 5 is available on November 9th, and you can play it day one on Xbox Game Pass. Your ultimate Horizon adventure awaits, so let's go. Today I'm live with Playground Games to talk about yesterday's Forza Horizon 5 announcement. Then we're going to be taking a closer look at breathtaking open world festival location Mexico. After that, we're going to talk about the artistic detail that went into recreating the country's unique landscapes. We'll also get the scoop on some of the game's new features. And before we wrap the show, we're happy to answer some questions. So pop them into chat as long as we go, and we'll see if we can get round to a few of them. And beside me today are two of the members responsible, Playground Games Creative Director Mike Brown and Creative Director of Playground Games, not that, is actually the Associate Art Director, Connor Cross. Hello both, how are you?
Hey, Charlie.
Hello. Yeah, I bet you are. Very excited.
Deme un segundito, voy a quitar esto un momento. Voy ahí.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions. How do you sleep after something like that?
Yeah, I think I was up at about last night in the Forza Discord chatting to fans.
Just making sure it all happens. What was the vibes like yesterday when the show was on? Obviously, you knew it was coming up. Did you know when it was going to be on in the show?
It's actually,
you just have to sit there and wait.
It's actually super secretive.
Well, we won't go down that route then.
Very, very few people know the whole show. But you basically know your bits, and you get feedback on your bits, rather than doing different proposals about what we want to include in it. But
nadie lo sabía.
What anyone else is doing
En el show.
And
iba a salir Forza.
like, it works really well in the context of where it is, the games around it. You're like, okay. Is there anything we should change to make it better? And they're just like, no, don't worry about anybody else's.
And then it appeared, and then that was it. The game was out in the world. So tell us more about Forza Horizon 5 then. What is it? What are we expecting here?
Yeah, it's the biggest, it's the most diverse, it's the most fun Horizon. Yeah, it's the biggest open world we've ever built. It's got an incredible new suite of social features.
El open world más grande que ellos han construido.
Engaging, compelling social experience to hang out with your friends. And yeah, just couldn't be more excited to share it with the world yesterday.
Yo no lo imagino. Esos dos tienen cara de que se fueron para México a janguear con la excusa de que tenían que conocer la cultura.
Exacto.
Pago por Microsoft, cabrón.
Probado de todo. As the art director, how does that feel? Everyone's saying these lovely things about what you've been doing.
Ay, Santo Cristo.
Great. Yeah, it's we've got such a great team here at Playground that really know their stuff and have been and we're working on Mexico. It's Mexico, and just looking at all the ecotypes we're working on, every single one. When you pull that together, it makes such a, as Mike has said, diverse, absolutely breathtaking, set of visuals there that I can't wait to show more of.
Voy a entrar al chat oficial.
It's Mexico. Like it was going to be a really easy job to make it look beautiful, right? So,
oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to unpick more of that, but let's have a look at some of the excitement you guys shared on social media
Rip
yesterday.
GTA, sí, le están tirando bien duro.
Being from Roby4TV, who was sort of just excited that it was true. What's that like? What's the reaction that you guys have seen of people finally getting relieved that it's happening, it's here, and it's also only in a few months as well?
Yeah, I mean, even though we've obviously we play the game, the game's a load of fun. Yeah. We think it looks great, but I can't tell you how.
Escuché también que supuestamente de aquí a varias semanas más PlayStation va a tener un
play. No, do you?
So it is, yeah, the anxiety levels are crazy, but as soon as it happened, you just it fills up. My phone nearly exploded.
De los que vayan a salir este año y para el año que viene.
So we've got another tweet here from Slaptrain. It says, "Holy Forza Horizon 5, let's go!" So many new things. There are indeed. We're going to talk about some of them today. But yeah,
Mira,
I mean, there's a lot of
aparente
things
y
to come, right?
alegadamente,
Forza Horizon 5 is huge, as you've already said.
la cuenta oficial de Xbox en Brasil confirmó la fecha de lanzamiento de Halo Infinite por equivocación.
Sí, pero no me cuadra, mano.
No, aquí están diciendo que puede ser una equivocación grande porque esa es la fecha de lanzamiento
de Forza.
No sé, la de Forza.
Para el mismo día.
Totally. Yeah,
9 de noviembre.
Because we've, throughout the development of Horizon 5, we've been really getting deep into Mexico and really
kind
of falling in love with that country. And it's just so exciting.
Job, right?
Sorry?
The perk of the job.
It's just so exciting to see other people like feel that love as well. As soon as they've seen it, everybody that
Digo, sería competir contra ellos mismos porque es el mismo público.
And it's just really reassuring.
Y no todo el mundo lo va a poder comprar.
As much as we do.
Brilliant, lovely. And our last tweet is from Hugo.
Adelantaría Forza si pueden.
The most beautiful graphics ever in the history of the gaming world. I'm guessing you both agree, right? You have to, right, Connor? Otherwise, there's a lot of question marks on you, really.
I'm not.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. The trailer was absolutely stunning, and what a perfect time.
Si tiran Forza con el lanzamiento del nuevo Call of Duty, RIP Halo. No creo, papi. Va a haber un trailer ahí.
Y este fue el de ayer.
El de ayer. Papi, tienen que poner reggaetón en ese Forza.
Lelda mandaba la de una canción de Obi con Natal Cano. Un narco corrido, bien cabrón.
Un narco corrido, cabrón.
Me encanta cómo se ve la Bronco, mano.
Mira que no, por favor, porque después ponen una de Bad Bunny o Anuel. Papi, yo correría por esa playa en ese carrito con una canción de Bad Bunny atrás.
Yo no te extrañes que ellos estén en la radio del juego. No te extrañes.
Que tienen que, a lo mejor ponen a J Balvin, que es el más tranquilito.
Algún latino o varios latinos van a estar en la gente.
Claro.
Confía.
Tienen que hacerlo porque en México. Papi, yo quiero meter el carro por ese volcán, por joder. Papi, pero de cabeza. Mira, ¿verdad, Miguel? Esa es la canción que debe ir. A 200 millas en un jet ski.
The room I was in alone was screams, jaws hitting the floor, a bit of everything. But I think this clip, actually, from Forza streamer Ash, really kind of sums up how we all
Faraón no, el nivel de Faraón está muy arriba para salir un videojuego.
It has to be.
Pero las reacciones de gente.
Oh my God. No fun for the night. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
I'm Mike Brown, creative director at Playground Games.
Hi! Thank you. That was so fun to watch. The hype is so Mike, we're going to do you first. So fans have been hoping for a new Horizon game, and the fact that it's imminent is even better. The big question really is, and we picked a little bit on it before, but why Mexico? Why are we going to Mexico?
Yeah, so it's the question that we deliberate on the most. Like, what location is the Horizon Festival going to go to for each game? We start thinking about it right at the start of development of a new Horizon title, and we spend a really long time making that call.
Oh, I can imagine it's not the quickest decision you'll ever make, really.
Well, it has all these kind of trickle-down effects for the rest of the game, like the cars that you'll pick, the type of racing that you do, the type of music that you go with. So it has really far-reaching ramifications. So you need to make sure you make the absolute right decision. Right from the start, we knew that we wanted to make the biggest Horizon ever. And you don't get that far down that path before you realize there's no point making the biggest ever unless it's also the most diverse, because otherwise you're just adding more of the same. Mexico is a country which is almost like the whole world in one country. It's just got snowy mountains, epic canyons, beautiful historic cities, stunning coastlines, jungles, rolling hills, farmland, multiple different types of desert. It just has everything. And then you add on top of that the fact that it has this culture that's known and loved all around the world, the art, the music, the people. There just couldn't be a more exciting option for the Horizon Festival than Mexico.
Yeah, I can't, just the image of like cars bombing around it as well. And you saw how diverse it was from the trailer. So we're going to move over into the art stuff now. And we saw some game footage from the demo during the Xbox and Bethesda showcase yesterday. So I want to get into some of that and talk about how incredibly good it looks. So Connor, from your point of view, what improvements do we see from ray tracing in Forza Horizon 5?
So we have ray tracing in Forza Vista, and ray tracing is basically the closest or the next step to complete photorealism. It's a way in which light is calculated and reflections are calculated that is pretty much, you might as well be there looking at it. If you look there, you can see the thin as the Project One, even the letters reflected perfectly, the same resolution.
La conferencia de Mythical Games.
Yeah, it's I can't wait for everyone to go check out all their favorite cars.
Vamos a pasarnos allá entonces.
And having spent time talking to some of the pictures in Horizon, it feels like that is going to be a load,
no sé si
vamos a pasarnos allá. Porque se supone que es E3 lo que estamos cubriendo. Vamos a...
Because can really kind of be what they want to be. You know, it's kind of a safe place that people can come. It's a great, strong community. And meanwhile, they have this economy.
Fall Guys salió y fue un palo. Y hay como 700 juegos ahora que lo están como...
part of the world themselves. And that's really what they need to know.
Pero este se ve
really
bueno.
A great community, and we really encourage people to be part of that community.
When you're building a game at the moment, if you want to move from 10,000 users to 10 million users, what you really need to do is have really, really epic gameplay.
Blancos is a game that's all about what we imagine vinyl toys
se llama Blancos.
When we're not watching.
Creo que se llama Blancos.
When we go to sleep and these toys are to their own devices. And
Blancos, cabrón. ¿En serio le pusieron blancos?
Fun world of creativity that these toys escape to. Every single Blanco has a story and have their own inspiration and their own flavor and their own style. And I think that players are going to find that they'll go, oh, I like this toy because it speaks to me.
You are playing, building, and collecting. But then outside of that, you are also upgrading and selling. You don't need to understand NFTs or blockchain at all to play Blancos Block Party. All you need to know is how to play a game, and we teach you that.
The Junction is an amazing place where the Blancos go to express their creativity.
Pero fíjate, se ven
Players are
cool.
gonna have a role in helping bring that world online.
It's just this city full of tons of different
Yo no
designs.
sé si tú te acuerdas, había un juego
But the point is that you are meeting up
que
with
era
your
de
friends,
carros de carreras, que era bien parecido a esto.
and then you're jumping into
No, yo lo que me acuerdo era de Happy Wars. Happy Wars estaba cabroncísimo.
Okay. Players can build their levels using our Blanco build tool. They can make whatever level they want. They can set the terrain, and then they could set the wind conditions, and they could set the game type. So you can make this level into a shooter, or you can make this level into a race. There are things that we didn't even think was possible with our level editor that they've been able to do. I've seen levels that recreate a particular science fiction movie that I might not be able to say.
Ya yo me pasé Sea of Thieves del
pieces of art.
no
We're just continually adding to this huge library
que yo me pasé ahorita Sea of Thieves.
and houses and vehicles and that kind of stuff.
Yo lo bajé, bajé el Insider para darle un poquito para ver cómo está eso.
In the open beta, we've seen over 20,000 block parties.
Tengo que jugarla antes, por lo menos una semana antes de que salga para volverme a acostumbrar al juego. Y que
sale el martes.
Sí,
70,000 NFTs that have already been purchased in our open beta, and we've been seeing just tons and tons of people jump in.
Now that NFTs are moving into the mainstream, the most important thing for games, for gaming studios that want to focus on NFTs is to really ensure that their gameplay, their player experience is on par or exceeds anything else in the mainstream market today.
We're putting the fun in non-fungible tokens. That's what we're doing. It's going to be really exciting
cómo se ve, mano, literal.
Community grow over the
next year.
Bastante entretenido.
Here with NFTs and blockchain really changes that script, because then it's players that can actually benefit and profit off of all the money they spend.
Part of my art exists in the fine art
world. La calidad de lo que ellos grabaron.
And sell a painting.
Tienen buenas luces, tienen buenas cámaras.
And then I get
buena iluminación.
Right. And then I have no idea, no control over who gets the painting, no idea.
Y las tomas, papi, el director de fotografía de ese documental es igualito al de Take Two.
One of the cool things about NFTs is that smart contract. It's locked in, and you're able to just not only track who gets it, but share that profit forever.
While one will collect for love, the other side that you want to collect from is also from a perspective of capital appreciation. You know, when we look at the collector world today, vinyl toys are on a tear, right? Just the very fact that Blanco's Block Party created a platform where you could not only collect digital vinyl toys created by epic vinyl toy artists, but at the same time use those vinyl toys to battle other people in games. I truly believe that it's a magic formula for, you know, not only epic capital appreciation on the assets themselves, but also, you know, immense amount of enjoyment in playing the game.
Today's gamers are used to having a lot of control over
en 3 horas vamos a tener la conferencia de Razer.
Seen that in the trend of games coming out over the last 10 years. Players spend a lot of time online. They spend a lot of time in digital space.
Que era la de Capcom a las 5 me dijiste, ¿verdad?
Sí, a las 5. Things that they buy through games. I think that's where, you know, Blancos really shines what we can bring to the table, but also where I think NFTs play a huge.
O sea que el Razer es después de Capcom.
It gives you a chance to really own the world around you, the universe that you're customizing, you're creating. You've got a greater stake in this thing now.
Rudy Koch, SVP Business Development. Am I just supposed to say that? Just my name, title? All right. I'm a big-time collector. I collect vinyl toys. I have a whole wall of them at home. I'm a nerd. We're all nerds. We all collect.
I love collecting. I actually started my career in comic books.
I collect sneakers.
I loved Magic the Gathering. I had hundreds.
These concepts as collectors ourselves, like the box opening, you know, opening a box for your Blanco, or the serial numbers on each of the NFTs that you buy. These are concepts that live in the physical collector's world that we love so much, and we wanted to bring that and translate that into the digital world. And what's amazing is that with the players that we've seen so far and the people
Papi, si esta gente da un palo con este juego y esos muñequitos se empiezan a vender como si fueran los Funko.
Fun to see that all unfold.
With real toys in real life, when the way to keep their value is you put them in the box, you put them on the shelf, you leave them there. But with Blancos, as you play with them, they get better. You can customize them. You can make them the way that you want them to be, but also increase their rarity and increase their scarcity by playing with them. Our leveling up process, it's called Grade Up. It draws from real toy and collectible culture. It's kind of a neat turn on everything that you would think about collectibles.
I'm looking to invest in and acquire assets from games that have the ability to move into the mainstream, games that have the ability to become AAA titles. There are mainly 3 that top my list. Again, Blanco's Block Party, Gods Unchained, as well as Axie's Infinity. They've been able to integrate blockchain within their gaming mechanisms, really in the background, rather than having it to be a requirement to be able to participate in the game and participate in the community.
Get yours, yeah. Get the money, get the money. Ooh la 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 la, throw it all on me, yeah.
A really key focus for my team has been making sure that our marketplace is very accessible for really all players in the game. This is going to continue to develop as we add more functionality around cryptocurrencies, being able to use your crypto wallet. But the core focus of our product is making sure that the mainstream audience is able to enjoy the game and have a super simple experience.
Historically, like if you're playing a game and you're trying to sell your items, the game developer doesn't support that, right? And Mythical Games takes a stance of we enable it and we facilitate it. Mythical's blockchain is uses proof of consensus, which basically is a much lower carbon footprint than proof of work. And we're planning to bridge to multiple chains. We're bridging to Ethereum, which is about to go to proof of stake, which is about 99.5% less energy. By using blockchain technology, you own your game assets, and then you can build another marketplace, you can build another interface, you can bring them into another game, different metaverses, and that's a new paradigm, and it's inevitable, and I think gamers are going to demand it. Traditionally, like when you're participating in a marketplace, you're relying on trust in a company to keep the database.
Claro, cabrón, cada muñequito cuesta 10 pesos.
Blockchain where our smart contracts are publicly
Qué abusadores.
So you have confidence and trust that you're getting what you're buying and you have true ownership and you have it forever. Because traditionally game companies can just say there are 1,000 of them, but who knows if there are 1,000, right? With Mythical Games, we have provable scarcity. And with provable scarcity, as an investor, a collector, a gamer, that's really what you want.
Pero lo brutal es que tú lo puedes montar, hacerlo más y venderlo para adelante. So que de repente eso es como si fuera. Hay gente que se puede podrir de chavo ahí.
As I started to look around at art, it always really appealed to me, but I was always really appealed by graffiti art and the music that I listened to. I have a favorite. That's like asking me what my favorite child is. It's currently my daughter, by the way, if anyone was asking. So for me, it just evolved over time as I started to learn a bit more about street artists and see the evolution of street artists. See an artist go from kind of painting an illegal wall to a gallery show, something like that. Seeing how those artists use different mediums again. You know, it's not just about canvases. It's about sculpture. It's about taking these shapes and these 3D canvases and expressing their desires, their needs, wherever it is they're trying to say on a different canvas. But now where we sit now compared to 20 odd years ago when all these artists were still just street artists getting arrested for doing throw-ups on trains. And now, you know, a couple of $1 million at Sotheby's, I'm like, it's pretty cool.
Where should our hands be? Let's do this. Oh, okay.
I'm super excited to talk to you guys about some of the artists that we're bringing into the game, some of the first collaborators. And I think it's appropriate to start with Michael Lau.
Michael Lau is a legend in the space.
Que me gusta porque es un equipo bien grande, loco.
He has this really awesome
Ellos están apostando a ese juego
full. And all toys are art. And I think like that is perfect for Blankos. And so I think we're really excited to see his style come alive in our realm.
點解想合作？咁其實一路以嚟都好想自己可以做啲 animation。
Espérate que no te escuché.
咁今次真係有機會。
I'm leaving. Me tengo que ir a comer.
Dale, papi, dale.
Another art designer that we're super excited to talk about is Quix. And what I love about Quix is that one, he's a graffiti artist, but two, he's super hip hop culture. Love his designs, love the samurai.
You know, he has this really iconic, like Japanese mech warrior style. So, I think we are all just excited to see that come alive in the Blankos universe.
My artwork and the style of toys that I do now are pretty much rooted from the stuff that I've loved since I was a kid. I grew up in the 80s, so I was heavily influenced by a lot of Japanese robot shows. Texas history is like my Mickey Mouse. He represents Japanese robots, hip-hop, and graffiti, all rolled into one character.
This brand that we're going to reveal now is near and dear to my heart. I'm actually wearing some sneakers that represent them. I will let my friend Nicole here tee it up.
The Marathon Company, from a culture perspective, they've worked with some incredible folks, obviously led by Nipsey Hussle, and we certainly want to honor his memory.
Nip was someone before he passed who was already into technology. It's such an honor to be able to carry on his legacy in a sense and bring them into the world of Blankos.
One Blanco can be so many different things. A Blanco can be a pattern, it can be a unicorn, it can be so many different characters. We work regularly with Kronk. His skill at being able to create characters, make you commit to those characters, they're believable. And then we have JPK, we have industry legends like James Groman, Nikki Davis, Sarah McPherson, Al Brown Chamaco, Junko Mizuno, Hakuta, and Thomas Han. We're not just picking from one person's perspective, which really helps to kind of broaden those cultural references.
I am an avid vinyl toy collector. I have just a house, floor to ceiling, vinyl toys. To find a game that did such a really great crossover between that kind of tangible good and have that element in the game, no doubt by the end of this time next year, I'm going to have a whole row of Blancos. So. It's art in a 3D form. I think it's a really great online safe haven for street art where it keeps its integrity and it isn't bastardized. Whether it's on geometry or it's sculpted or it's just tags on walls and stuff like that. I like that. I just like exploring the space, and then you still see this coalescence of cohesion as opposed to a random vomit. Art exhibit games like Blancos, I think it's a really great bridge between the traditional mediums of creating art, digital art, or street art or stuff like that, and then into the game engine. And that's cool because all the elements that are familiar to the Deadmau5 fan were really well executed in these skins. Anything else, weenies? In the back.
So now that the video is coming to a close, download Blancos, blancos.com, bring your vinyl toys to life, build your own levels, buy all the designs from your favorite brands, artists, and designers, share it with all your friends so they download and play it together. And we look forward to seeing you within the world of Blancos.
But wait, we're partnering with the fashion industry's most coveted brands to bring you their style, Blanco style. And our first collab is a name you'll recognize. They're known worldwide for their signature plaids and heritage prints.
I'm incredibly excited to announce that Burberry will be partnering with Mythical Games to launch a limited edition Blanco in their game Blanco's Block Party. Pushing boundaries and discovering new ways to innovate with our communities have always been at the heart of what we do as a brand. Being a part of this creative and pioneering community with Mythical Games is an incredible synergy for us and a perfect evolution of our existing engagement with the gaming communities. This partnership presents Burberry's first exploration into the world of NFTs. This opens up a whole new platform of possibilities, and it empowers digital natives and gamers to own a piece of our brand and actively engage and participate with our house codes. We can't wait to embark on this pioneering journey with Mythical Games as we explore the future of digital ownership in gaming, whilst discovering new environments and a myriad of possibilities within this community.
All right, you got the last word. Make it count.
That's a good question. Here, let me give me 5 seconds here to think about it.
All right, guys, let's cut on the cameras.
Oh, thank God. If you're ready to start building, playing, and earning, you can download and join Blanco's Block Party now in early access on PC.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Also, watch your favorite content creators on Twitch this week for a chance to get an exclusive new Blanco, only available through Twitch.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
On behalf of all of us at Mythical, thanks for joining.
I feel like you nailed it.
Welcome back to E3 2021, and we'll get to our thoughts on Mythical Games here in a second. But first, we wanted to remind everyone that they could win a $100 gift card from our partners at DoorDash just by tagging them in a tweet and following them on Twitter. It's as simple as that. But Mythical Games, I said before, it's a different kind of experience, right, Jackie? It's did you learn a little bit about the blockchain?
I mean, I learned so much, and honestly, the art was breathtaking. They were talking about how this is the evolution of modern art. I think Deadmau5 himself said this is a safe haven for street art, and I'm honestly just blown away by the entire concept. You know, you were taking me like 101. It was basically like NFT 101, Bitcoin 101, all of this stuff like kind of went over my head. But when you broke it down for me, I think it was just so intimidating to me before. Like, I was like, I don't even know how to get into this. But then once you broke it all down, I was like, I understand the concept and the proof of authority. Like, this is amazing for us to have that. And then to just bring in art and entertainment and design, like, I'm here for it. I love it. But you're going to have to school me some more. We're going to have to do some private lessons.
I got you covered. But the one 15-minute presentation wasn't enough.
Yeah, you didn't get to see his head. By the way, you need to make one of these, right? I saw your art earlier. It was phenomenal.
Stick figure art, amazing. Blankos, hit me up, Mythical. I'm all about it. But Greg, you know, at its core, though, let's not forget, Blankos Block Party is a game,
right?
And it has one of those types of Roblox experiences to it, where you know, make your own adventure type of game, and those are really picking up. Like I know a lot of people want to knock on it, but Roblox is like one of the biggest games of all time, of course, and huge on YouTube and stuff. So it's clear that like this is a great direction for something like this to go, where you can express your creativity.
Right, 100%. And I think that's what's interesting about it is their presentation was so focused on how NFTs work, what they're doing, the designers and artists they're partnering up with. It makes sense in the way of, hey, we want you to understand the business side of it. But for me, I was more, can we see more of the game? Can we talk more about the games? And I was talking to you about it, and it's that idea of like, well, you could, but you can make whatever you want in it, right? And that's what stands out to me, you know, as a little Big Planet fan, even for Mod Nation Racers, but then more like
Mod Nation Racers,
right? Right now, like think about how Core is doing this, how Roblox is doing this. Get in and make your own games. The fact there's already been more than 20,000 block parties they're talking about there. They called it out. You can make shooters, you can make platformers. It's like, it's early access right now. It's free to play on PC. It's one of those like, yeah, jump on in. It doesn't cost you anything. That you don't have to buy a guy right away or do
exactly
that.
Yeah, a very, very cool concept. I'm very excited to see where they go from here. 100%, Greg.
100%.
And also, anyone can hit you up on Twitter for private lessons, correct?
Yeah, totally.
Just make the YouTube video of it, Golden Boy. That's all you need to do.
I'm just trying to get out of frame, guys. Okay.
I'll get you out of here. What do you do when you get one of the hottest DJs on the planet collaborates with one of the sick indie titles we're talking about? Well, I caught up with Deadmau5 and Jamie Jackson of Mythical Games to explain how they plan to keep the party going for Blankos and the crew.
You talked to Deadmau5. What?
So how did this collaboration come about?
I think Ender forced it on us.
Yeah, Rudy forced it on me. We didn't want to work together again. We would.
No. It was all mandated. Orders from above, from our benevolent overlords.
So that's mostly true, but also, you know, we're in the video game world, we're in the NFT world. You know, Joel, you've done some cool stuff in it as well, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I've been playing around with that, but I you know, outside of like, you know, the woo and wah of selling JPEGs for tens of thousands of dollars, I really liked what you guys were doing with like kind of the integrating the tangible good with that same kind of video gamey thing. That was what really got me excited.
First time with Blankos anyway, where we kind of put somebody in the game and tried to create what their character was like. You know, it was pretty cool. It was cool to like figure out how we represented him.
Bueno, gente, ahora mismo están entrevistando a Deadmau5. Obviamente la próxima conferencia es a las 5 de la tarde. Así que vamos a estar conectándola a las 5 de la tarde para cubrir. Recuerden que pueden seguir el E3 en Twitch. Ahora mismo están en vivo. Este corillo se tiene que ir, pero volvemos a las 5 para cubrir lo que es la conferencia de...
modifications to the Blanco. We wanted to make it bigger than that. So it's
la que les dije.
First time we've got a full head attachment.
Chequeamos.
And then we were like, well, you know, it'd be cool if when that head comes off, it's not Joel underneath, and it's Meowington's, and we kind of took a play on that. And I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was really cool that they didn't just schlep a mouse head on it and call it a day. I mean, they also integrated the cat, my cat, Meowington's who I'm a big fan of, and just the fact that, you know, it's like the mouse head, but when they take the mouse head off, it's actually Meowington's, which is pretty cool because he's kind of all part of the Dead Mouse Joel ethos.
Yeah, I like with the Wii Reps, you're one of your early suits in it as well. I was a long-term fan.
Yeah, I stopped doing that. It was just too much effort. I like the first 2 or 3 shows, I did the suit thing, and I'm like, you know what? Just it's too much. It's too much. We're gonna strip it down a bit.
It's a cool throwback, though.
How do NFTs expand the reach of your brand?
It's a new technology and all that stuff too. So we're just going through the trials and tribulations of what is it? Because I think the general consensus right now, if you were to ask men on the street, oh, what's an NFT? Oh, isn't that like a $10,000 JPEG? You know, is kind of the answer you're going to get. But it's really a lot more than that. It's the underlying framework and technology that allows for, you know, the blockchain provenance, you know, that unique identifier that can be used from platform to platform to platform. So think of it as like what Steam's is to video games is, you know, is like the world's Steam, you know, like, so it's every time you log into Steam or something like that, they're gonna use Steamworks to, like, you know, grab achievements and stuff like that. It's all stored on that centralized system, the blockchain being the similar concept, but decentralized across all computers and stuff like that. And because